So yeah, the last video was short. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the 5 games that I suggested. Psychonauts. I loved that game because of the character design. And the platforming was really solid, which is rare in a 3D platformer, even today. But yeah, the story was fantastic. Rasputin's fear of water and the I don't know the interesting interactions with all the other characters as well as his dad. It's kind of like looming threat of his dad, and then it turns out to be well, spoiler. Won't go into that, but and then just how all the it's a great premise, jumping in people's minds and these agents, these psychonauts that help people. And then with Shadow of the Colossus, I like games that are just an experience. You know, that like, I don't know, it's almost ethereal, that game, and you don't have you don't really have an idea of why you are destroying these colossi, but you're doing it. It's like, you know, it's 15 back-to-back boss fights that are just epic. And every boss fight is just amazing, and it's actually like a puzzle game, really, because you have to find out how to destroy each one. And I really suggest not using a walkthrough for that game, because going through it and like trying to process like where the weak points are, and like you think you have a handle on it by the third colossi, and then they just toss everything out of, you know, all the rule books are gone and everything. So that was just a great game, great music. I'd love to see an updated version of it, like an HD version of it, but it is just a fantastic game. And then you really never know throughout the game why you're doing what you're doing, because the plot is so vague, which is really interesting. It's a really interesting narrative perspective. With Mega Man 2, that's just a nostalgic, completely nostalgic thing. I just love the character design. And I found out recently why Mega Man 2 was so good. The original Mega Man, you know, did okay in sales. They weren't sure if they were going to make a Mega Man 2. So the creators got together and did it in their spare time. They made all the music, they made all the level design, all the character design in their spare time, so there was more passion involved in that game. And because Mega Man 2 came out and was so phenomenal, now there's 10 more in the classic series and like a billion more in the other series. So it really sparked the Mega Man series. So hooray for Mega Man 2. Link to the Past was really what got me into Legend of Zelda, which, thank goodness, I got into Legend of Zelda. I was always a Mario guy, and then Zelda came along. My friends would play Legend of Zelda, and I'm like, well, whatever, I didn't really get it. And Zelda 2, I was like, this is too hard when I was a kid. Actually, about 5 years ago, I actually beat that game. A very tough game to beat. But then Link to the Past came, and I was like, okay, give it another shot, you know. And I don't know, that game was just well, it expounded so much on the original Legend of Zelda that and like all the items, I really loved the items in that game, the hammer and the medallions and stuff, and the, you know, the character design, very like childish, I guess you could say, graphics and whatnot, for Link and all the other characters, and it was just the feel of the game, and like the seriousness toward the end when you go into the dark world, and I don't know, that it's very nostalgic again. But it was like my first big Zelda, so then I went back and played them all and beat them all and everything. So, and then Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean, a lot of people have a really classic feel, and like, a lot of people have nostalgia for that game. My favorite animal was a raccoon. So when Mario donned his raccoon suit, I was like flipping out as a kid, because like, oh wow, my favorite character is now wearing my favorite animal, and blah blah blah. And then I learned what a Tanuki was and all this stuff, and the Hammer Brothers suit was just epic. And when Super Mario Brothers All Stars came out, I remember going through Super Mario Brothers 3 and all the save slots, 1, 2, and 3. The first slot had like all frog suits, and the second slot had all Tanuki suits, and the third slot had all Hammer Brothers suits, so I could go into any level and pick whatever suit I wanted to play. And then the last slot was the 2-player game, which had, I think one character had all, like, half Tanuki, half Hammer, and then, like, the other guy had P-Wings, and I don't know. But, I don't know, just that game is so amazing, and it's not anything special necessarily for today, like a platformer. But back then, it was like, you know, it's still one of the longest Mario games in my eyes. I mean, I could probably beat it pretty quickly, but New Super Mario Bros. Wii went so fast. And then New Super Mario Bros. That's my son. If you hear little noises throughout the video. So, yeah, we were talking about just the level design and everything. It seemed like a longer game. Maybe I just played the heck out of it. And that's why it seems longer. Because I'd go in different levels and try different things. And I mean, Super Mario World, in comparison, had a bunch of extra levels and secrets, and it had a whole secret world and everything. So that was a bigger game. But I don't know, Super Mario Bros. 3 feels bigger to me for some reason. Maybe it's the marketing. The fact that, like, an entire movie was dedicated to the release of this game, The Wizard. I remember seeing that in theaters about 12 times, and just waiting to see the Super Mario. I watched that so many times, the Super Mario Bros. 3 Video Armageddon bit. That was so great. But yeah, thanks for listening to me blab on. It's kind of like the part 2 of the 500 subscribers. Thanks so much again for all that and all the positive comments throughout the time I've been on. And hope to see a lot more. And one little extra bit. I'm going to show you. This is my... Oof. He's sleeping. This is my newborn son. He is now 5 weeks old. And yeah, that kind of proves or whatever that I'm married. Maybe not, but a lot of people have been wondering. But this is Ian. This is my second son. My other son is sleeping peacefully upstairs. Hopefully he'll remain that way. And yeah, that's a little peek into my personal life, but you won't get many of those. My wife doesn't really want to be on these videos, and she said if you guys need to see or whatever, I can show you some wedding photos or something, but she didn't really want to be on the videos, but that's fine. But I think that's it. So thanks. This is kind of like the end of part 2 for the 500 subscriber special. So many more videos to come up. As I said before, I film them all ahead of time and then post them as I go along, because with 2 kids, I don't get much time. Normally it's at night when I do it, or if my grandma or my wife's mom or my mom come over and take the kids, and then I can get some stuff done. But I always have so much to do otherwise, apart from the collection, that, you know, it's hard to get around to it. So the first one was short, now this is long. You've listened to me long enough. So good night, and watch for more videos as usual.